Welcome back to episode 6 of training for Leadville. I am in full taper mode right now, so this is a taper week with a couple other complications thrown in, which we will get to, but that is real life. So let's dive right in. Monday, June 5th was the last day that Lee and his family were here visiting us. So naturally, Lee wanted to do the Manitou incline. So I took him out, but there was not without some complications first. Sunday night, the night prior to that, I began feeling really just not good at all. And I slept poorly. I say poorly, but I really honestly do not think I slept at all. I felt incredibly hot. I felt like I had a fever, quite honestly. I checked my temperature in the morning when I woke up. I did not have a fever, but I was still incredibly exhausted. But I did continue and go with Lee to do the incline and take him on the trail so he could see that bucket list item. So I started off just kind of bumpy. At the start, we had a reservation for the incline between 7:30 and 8. Got there and went up the incline. And, both of us on the run to the incline, which was about 3/4 of a mile, we both felt really just janky. Our legs felt kind of dead and out of it. But once we got there, got hiking up the incline, I kept telling Lee, all right, we need to pace it. I know you're probably thinking this isn't going to be that difficult. Trust me, it is. And as you'll see, he found out that it was very difficult.
That's a man right there doing this in jeans.
Yeah, well, more inexperience is probably the better word. Won't do that again, I can tell you that much.
I'm a push, man. Legs are on fire. I fell backwards. Oh my goodness.
No, I wouldn't have been able to stop.
After we summited the incline, we took a couple pictures at the top at the summit there. I think it took us roughly, it was 42, 45 minutes, somewhere around that range, which is not bad for Lee's first time and me feeling like crap. Honestly, it was, okay, I guess. But we did take it fairly easily. I was trying to pace us back. But we continued on up to Bar Camp because Lee had never been up there and really wanted to see that as well. And it's kind of a bucket list thing as well to see that as an ultra runner, a trail and ultra runner. So we made it up to Bar Camp, which again was really cool on the way up there. It was really cloudy and foggy. We really didn't have hardly any views at all. We got a little bit of rain here and there, but some really cool view on top of this one rock. We could see 360 degrees around. It was really neat to climb up there a little bit. And then made it up to Bar Camp, stayed up there for just a few minutes, went inside the camp, saw what it was like, and then just basically turned around and headed back down. So all in, it was about a half marathon with a little over 3,800 feet of elevation gain and descent. We did go down bar trail versus going down the incline. So overall, it was a good day, good vert, good elevation gain, good time on the feet, good time with friends, with Lee. And even though I felt really bad, by the end of the run, I felt okay, so that was a good sign. So Tuesday, June 6th then was a conditioning day, and so on the schedule was a 1 hour easy bike ride, just kind of at a 4 RPE. So I did go out and go near the Cottonwood Creek Trail here in the Springs. Right beside it are a lot of interwoven trails, single track trail that kind of goes alongside the paved trail. So I did try to hit that as much as I could, which was kind of neat to explore some of those areas and see that as well. And then I went on up the trail a little bit further, but it was about an hour's worth of ride, keeping it very chill. And then after that, I did have about 15 minutes of strength training. So I did do that as well, again, following one of the vert.run plans. And those are great. I just put them up on the TV. I can kind of follow along as they do it. And so yeah, overall, a pretty decent day, an hour and 15 minutes worth of training. I should note, I still was not feeling well this day. I was kind of had a scratchy throat, a little bit of a cough and irritant, I would say. I really was just thinking it was allergies because, you know, it is springtime here in the Springs right now. You know, the flowers and trees are blooming. So I kind of just chalked it up to allergies. So Wednesday, June 7th was a scheduled speed work session, but again, with the ankle recovery and not feeling really well, I did not do the speed work. I just chose to do an hour's worth, kind of an hour easy run. I had to go get the oil changed in my company vehicle, so I took it to the service center, and I was able to do about almost a 7-mile run, a nice route, kind of following a little bit of greenway, some sidewalks here and there. But it was a good day. It was very stormy and there was lightning off in the distance. I was keeping an eye on it. I had my phone to monitor how close that lightning was getting. But I did get rained on a little bit. But I've been dealing with, I haven't really talked about it much, but I've been dealing with a bit of a hip issue. Probably, honestly, I've mentioned it a couple of times when I did that one downhill speed work session many weeks ago. I really felt it in my right TFL, the tensor fascia lata, however you want to pronounce it, right there, the TFL. I was feeling it deeply inside, and I began to get a little concerned, really concerned, because it was not improving. I was doing lots of different stretches, talked to my FMT, my functional movement therapist, about it as well, and I was beginning to get very concerned, to be honest with you guys, that it was going to be a real issue and might be something that might require surgery, kind of similar to what my wife had just after speaking with her. So I was very concerned. I felt it on this run. Again, at the beginning of it, it was very uncomfortable, a fair amount of pain deep inside the hip, around to the side, the glute area just a little bit, kind of internally. But I did continue the run. I did do it. I probably should have stopped my run and called my wife to have her come pick me up, but I'm stubborn, and so I continued the run. But afterwards, I did feel it a good bit. But like I said, it was about almost 7 miles, easy paced, about 8:43, real easy. And I was wearing the Solomon Aero Glides on that run. And yeah, I got it done.
Hey, real quick, I want to tell you about the sponsor of today's video, and that is Vert.Run. I've been training with Vert.Run now for a little over 2 years, and it has seriously been one of the best things for the consistency in my training. I had always designed my own plans because I wasn't a new runner, but having a professional trail runner design your plan, having that person there, that accountability, has been amazing and really improved my running. So if you have been on the fence about getting a coach, I highly recommend trying Vert.Run. Look below in the description for a coupon code to save 40% off your first months of training, and a link to go download the app, whether you're on an Android or an iPhone. All right, back to the video.
So Thursday, June 8th was another conditioning day where I was scheduled to do about another hour's worth of cross training on the bike and then a workout session as well. I did go to my functional movement training in the morning. Since Stephanie and Lee were not in town visiting, I continued the functional movement training about an hour as always. I did get adjusted by the chiropractor also afterwards, but I did talk to the FMT that morning about my TFL pain that I was having. She thought maybe it could be the TFL, some muscles that are in that area that might need a little bit of release kind of thing. So I worked on some of that as well. Still had some difficulty and some pain there, but again, I was not feeling good that day. And actually, you know, my wife was also not feeling well. So I started feeling bad Sunday night, last Sunday, which was June 4th. She started feeling bad Saturday, June 3rd. Kind of just felt very lethargic, fatigued, tired, just did not feel well whatsoever. So Thursday, we both did test positive for COVID, unfortunately. So I had already been to the FMT that morning, so I felt bad about that. But luckily, that's no contact. You know, you're keeping a safe distance from everyone anyway, and it's all, you know, we sanitize all the equipment after we use it. So, you know, hopefully no issues there. But I did test positive for COVID, and so I let my coach know. He said, you know, absolutely, if you're showing symptoms, do not run. Take, you know, 3 days of rest at least, and do not run while you have any symptoms. So I did. I did not do anything Thursday. It was just a recovery day, basically, because I was not feeling well that day. But going back to about Sunday, starting not feeling well, so that would have been, you know, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, the 4th day of probably having COVID. I didn't test earlier. I honestly didn't even cross my mind about COVID. I just figured it was allergies, like I had mentioned. So that was now the second time I think that I've had COVID in the last 3 years. Yeah, I think so, just 2 times. So Friday, June 9th was again a scheduled speed work day, but I did not do anything. I just laid around and rested. Obviously I worked because I was able to work. This was a very mild case of COVID. It really was just a little fatigue. I had that scratchy throat, a little bit of a cough, but that was about it. I really didn't have any bad headaches. I never had a fever that I checked it several times, never had a confirmed fever. So it was a very mild case. I was able to work, do my job, but I did do some foam rolling later that night, watching a Jeff Peltier film, which you know, I always love watching his stuff. He's a very great, awesome content creator. But yeah, just an easy day. That was it. You know, I was beginning to feel better. I really, the fatigue was going away. I was really just having a little bit of that kind of irritating cough still, but most of that scratchy throat was dissipating also, so beginning to improve. So Saturday, June 10th was a cross-training day. My coach had reworked the schedule to allow for some rest time after, you know, getting the positive COVID diagnosis. So again, with that same mindset of, you know, not doing anything for a few days, I basically took the day off. It was my son's birthday. It was Declan's 7th birthday. So we celebrated, you know, just our family. We went to the pool here in our community. You know, again, keeping a safe distance from people. But we were both, my wife and I, feeling pretty much better at that point, really showing no more signs that Saturday, feeling fine. And so we stayed at the pool for a little while till the storms came, like they always do in the afternoon. But then my wife and I did a really good workout on the hips and glutes. Just really focusing on that gluteus, you know, the minimus, maximus, medius, those muscles, and the hamstrings. And this was I believe it's a Caitlin Gervin video that we watched on YouTube. And man, that girl is fit. She whooped our butts, not gonna lie. I'm still sore in my upper hamstrings. I need to work those more apparently. But it was a very good workout, about an hour long. And yeah, it whooped my butt, not gonna lie, it whooped my butt. And I did also test the Science and Sport nitrate powder that day. That was the first time I was doing the preloading phase for going on a run on Sunday with my wife, which we'll get to. But you have to preload a little bit. So I tested it, and it was not the most pleasing flavor. It's supposed to be grapefruit. Really didn't taste much grapefruit at all. It was a very odd flavor, and yeah, just wasn't really good. But we'll see if it worked. Well, Sunday, June 11th was basically supposed to be another cross training day, but I took this opportunity to get up into the mountains with my wife. But before that, we did take a COVID test Sunday morning just to confirm. We both knew we were better, but we took a COVID test Sunday morning before going to church, and we both tested negative, so we were in the clear.
Well, I'm up here on Old Stage Road, Upper Gold Camp area, about 9,000, a little over 9,800 feet, with Valen coming out with her today so she could get to altitude a little bit. She jumped into a race last minute. She's got a pretty serious race the week after mine, where she's going to be, it's an alpine race. She'll be going up to 13,000 feet. And she's pretty terrified of some of that. So getting her up here to get some altitude and be with her. She's taking a pee break. She's done right now. There she is back there. So we're going to go run a little bit. Easy run today. And yeah, should be
easy for one of us.
It's cloudy, but hopefully we should be good. And for me, today is serving as kind of a final gear check for my race next weekend, the Leadville Trail Marathon. Testing out, making sure everything works well. I have the Hokas and all twos on with my ankle brace, making sure it feels okay with the brace, the vest obviously. And I'm testing out the Science and Sport nitrate powder, seeing if it makes any difference or if I feel any difference at altitude. But who knows, we'll see. Woo! Almost went in. So what's the name of the race you signed up for? Kuchara. It's she's doing the 60 kilometer. They do have a 100K. They have a 100 miler? Oh, 50 miler. But she's never run above like 9 something before, so today's the highest she's run, other than the little 3/10 of a mile up at the top of Pikes Peak, or done any of that type of stuff at high altitude, alpine. Expressing a little fear, but she'll be all right. Lots of people out today. That's like I don't know, the 6th or 7th Jeep we saw. Lots of mountain bikers. I mean, it is a pretty day. Even prettier company. Crushing this hill. About 10,400 feet up. Especially one of the first times I've run most of that.
Really?
Just because usually it's been covered in snow. Oh. It's totally runnable though. It's good. You're killing it. Well, we're at 10,906 feet. Gonna turn around because we only are supposed to be out here for about 2 hours. We got to get back. We've got a concert to go to, or a comedy show. We're going to see John Christ, her birthday present. Super excited about that. But this is obviously some like big camping hangout spot where people come up. There's a lot of campfire rings and places people can park their vehicles. People that do that, if you watch this, be considerate and pack out your trash. My gosh, so many broken glass bottles and just like stuff left all over the place. Take care of the stuff, people. There, and the public service announcement. Ooh, it's getting chilly up here. I guess we're up close to 11,000 feet. Cloudy. I would wager it's mid to low 40s up here. Hands getting a little chilly.
But overall, that run was 8.6 miles, 1,250 feet of elevation gain. And yeah, it was just an easy day in the woods. And it was a lot of fun being with my wife on the trail. It was great. So overall for the week, it was 28.6 miles, 5,600 feet of elevation gain for running activities. And then I also had about 10.7 miles of bike riding in that 1 hour that I did, with a little bit of elevation gain there for that cross training. But then I did also have about 2 hours and 23 minutes of workouts, my functional movement training, that workout that I did with my wife, and the other weight training also. So overall, you know, a pretty decent week of training considering I had gotten COVID. I took a couple of days completely off, and it was a taper anyway, so I'm not concerned. I think it was fine. But I did get some good news about the hip. I did do some more research, and I found that after poking on my body a little bit and reading some scholarly journals, things like that, I really think that it is a TFL issue, but specifically what's known as a trigger point. And that kind of originates back in the gluteus minimus back there. So I got my massage gun, got in it really hard. I mean, so much so that I think I bruised my butt because I was getting in it really hard, let's just say that. But I did feel some relief like almost instantly after I did that. It felt a lot better in the hip. So that's very encouraging. That's something that I think I can alleviate. I did schedule next week. I did schedule a massage to kind of get that worked on, so that hopefully it'll alleviate some of that as well before the race. I really feel it on the downhill and the impact, so I've been going very slow on my descents, which, you know, is probably good because I need to approach this race coming up as a training run and take it easy. I need to not go, you know, balls to the wall down a hill and roll an ankle. That would just ruin everything. Well, next week will be all about race preparation. You know, obviously I will be doing a couple of activities here and there in my taper, but I do need to do some things for, you know, packing for the race, getting vehicles set up. So we'll have kind of some of that logistic stuff thrown in there as well. Maybe go over some goals of the race, things like that, go over a couple of those details. So it should be a great episode next week as well. So be sure to tune into that. Let me know below in the comments if you're going to be at the Leadville Trail Marathon or the Heavy Half. I know at least a couple of you have reached out to me to let me know that you will be there. So if you see me out there, please do come say hi. I'd love to meet you, you know, talk a little bit, share race strategies, who knows. But let me know. It'd be awesome to meet you guys out there for sure. Well, if you have not seen last week's episode, episode 5, go back, take a look at that. It's on your screen. You can see that. And then on this side will be a playlist of the rest of the series also. Thank you all so much for joining. I do appreciate you all, and I'll see you in the next one.